Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for is now here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Get him, Bobby.
Now rocking with
DZ, the Incredible.
Black one step in and pass. Browning said no, not a ras. And the Browning grab the black one in her ear, and Blackie grab the Browning shots. And she not let go dog, and she not let go neither. And she not let go dog, and she not let go neither.
Now you know how to do it. If you want to leave, just make me know. Everything when you are free, I stress me out. Every day in my skin, I press remote. And then you wonder what make me go cheat. Why you think say every day me left the house? Girl, me last me see you in some sexy clothes. The minute me drop asleep, you search me phone. And then you wonder what make me go cheat.
Yeah, they give me a line in my 40. Lame, nigga, no. Go, that's you how you go. You gotta give me a line in my 40. Lame, nigga,
no surging over these gals. They ain't thinking about you. No surging over these gals. When there's nothing you can do. No surging over these gals. They ain't thinking about you. And these gals, they gon' do what they do. Oh, these gals, they gon' do what they do.
Welcome back to Live and Direct. We in full effect. We got Julio from Sajinai in the building, and we just took a look at all of the artists, or some of the artists that Sajinai Inc. Incorporated has worked with and still working with up to this day. Now, not only have you recorded your own music, not only do you do publishing and PR, but you do some production work too.
Yeah, when I'm bored.
So tell us a little bit about the producer side of you and what you have done production wise.
Executively, there are a few stuff that I worked on. Links and myself did Julia Lyons. Can't remember the name of the song. Love, I think. We did that. And that was pretty good. Then I did a few stuff with most artists I work with today. Currently we're working on a big project, which is the Yanni Rhythm, which has a lot of well-known Jamaican artists on this rhythm. And I'm talking about major names. I'm talking about Bookie and Vibes Cartel. I'm talking about Tancho Black, Starface, Lance is on the rhythm. It's like kind of crazy because it's the first time that you have a Jamaican production, a Bahamian production that hits Jamaica and has mainly Jamaican artists on it. So this is a crazy crossover. Rex and I definitely put the work in. Yanni, the beat itself, Yanni was the first artist that jumped on it. And he did a pretty crazy song. We shot the video here, so that's like the productive side of what I'm doing for most things. And then from time to time, I dabble in music myself because I did 2 projects at one point, and then I came back, and I normally get forced into doing music because I'll be in the studio and I'm like, oh yeah, voice, put a verse on this because I can't write this thing and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a writer anymore, man. But I'm gonna try it out. So from time to time, Mania or Links or Rex, when these guys, if we're in the studio, probably just hanging out or whatever it is, which is kind of rare. I'll kind of show off a bit, kind of like, this is why I do music kind of thing. But I'm not the best at it, so most time it's kind of like a surprise for people. Like, this dude actually could rap or he actually could sing, but it's kind of like it's talent, so it comes naturally. It's not something I practice every day with everyone, so that's kind of the side of me that I do from time. I do play keyboards, I do play the guitar. I haven't in a while because I don't have the time to sit down behind the keyboards and mechanically produce these things like Sherwood and these guys. But it works out pretty well because that's their freedom work. And at the end of the day, I realize the industry needs a balance. You need to have a producer, you need to have a writer, you need to have the talent, you need to have the publisher, you need to have the managers. You can't be all of these one time. That's a lie. You could, but it's a bad idea. It kind of drains away energy from these pieces. So it kind of makes sense to pick something and be good at it than trying to be everything. And for me, being a producer wasn't what I wanted to do, so I went more into scripted writing and executive producing, and I went more into publishing, the business side of it. And I like the creatives be the creative, and that's basically how it is. So you find a few music out there for me that you might run into. I heard G hit me up a few days ago and say, "Hey, I find something you did a while back. I'm gonna remake it." I'm like, man, I can't wait to see what you do with that. That should be pretty cool. But it'd be stuff like that, you know. So executively, that's kind of how I dive into music as the producer or the executive producer when it comes to a product. Basically, yeah.
Because I can remember a few years back, coming into the studio with you and Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, because then you had some material that was playing on Hot 91.
It was. Yeah, I remember that.
So that's how I first heard the name. And then, you know, the dude I was working with at the time, he knew about you through somebody else.
Yeah.
And so we kind of made the connection that way. So, tell me a little bit about, you know, what it was like working closely with Mark Johnson, because, you know, even in sitting in conversation with him, like, dude, he has some knowledge of the game, especially, you know, coming from the old school, bro. So he knows about before things was digital and everything was going
everything was analog
and all that stuff.
Yeah, everything was analog. I spent so much time around Mark, Fred Ferguson, these guys, that they did a lot of pieces to me as well. They did guitar pieces to my song "Oh Don't Give Up" that had Nadine Brown on it, and these guys were the gold mine. They were like the classics. They were the guys that made music that you hear today possible, and they still are. You know, like Ozzy, and these guys' names still ring bell to this point. And for me to be around them for more than 10 years, sitting in the studio, I mean, they were old guys. Sometimes I get bored and they'd be there cracking jokes, and I'm there just wandering through on Facebook. You'll find stuff on me online doing live interviews, and Cali while they're in the background making noise, you know, and not even paying attention. And it was a good feed because they all had good input in what I was doing. And even though today I look back and be like, oh, that could have been better, when I look at it today, it's kind of like that was a transition period for me. I had to come from that to get here. So even though I might say a few times, okay, that song just sounds like crap, the actual truth is, to me it does. To someone else it probably sounds pretty good. So I have a different opinion of my own music compared to someone else that's listened to it. But if you ask me, I'm going to always tell you that sounds like crap. That's just basically it. But then when I look back at the persons who I connected with, they all had a positive input in what I was doing that made me what I am today when it comes to music. And between Mark and these other persons that I've been around, they kind of show me how music was done back then and how it could be better today. And that's kind of what I did. I feed off energy, and that's what I had with Mark. It was energy. So you walk in the studio, it was like father and son laughing and eating and hanging out, and he's there mixing something, and I'm there like nah, tweak it this way. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was with him and I. And it was kind of like we had a back and forth. And then we had Spirit came in. We did a few stuff with Spirit. I don't know if you remember Kristen Taylor. And he's a pretty good producer. Matter of fact, he produced 3 good songs for me that I thought was pretty good at the time on the project I Became Me that Mark and I was working on. And that today kind of left it on Mark, because if you look back at the credits on that project, it was Ozzy and Fred Ferguson and Mark Johnson, you know, Mr. Lynx. It was a very rare few. And these guys were all at that time credited in their years for doing a lot of good productions. And I don't think I get a better school than that, man. That was basically it. Between that and messing around with Full Sail, I thought that was just perfect at the time, because they were the legends of their time, you know? Yeah, other than Chris Black. You know, they were the guys that made music what it is today, you know? And I can actually really appreciate that.
So do you have like a bucket list? Like people who you would like to produce for, who you would like to do publishing for, work with, especially any big names out there on the international market. On the
international market, persons who I definitely want to do publishing for. I sat down and thought about this so many times. I even reached out to a few artists at the time, and I can just share a few names. I was featured in the L3 magazine in Canada about a few years back, in 2013-ish, 2014 if I'm correct. And while I got a copy of the magazine, I was going through it, and there were artists in there that I haven't even knew existed. So I was going through it, and I saw some names, a few artists. I'm like, oh, they're new, they're up and coming. But when I went back and looked at their credits and their video views, man, these guys were major, and I'm like, man, I gotta work with D Pride. You know, I want to know who these dudes are. So I went on Instagram, I hit him up, be connected. But then he had a major team, and they was kind of focusing on Toronto and Canada. They didn't want to really go outside the country. Futuristic, I hit him up. These guys are all names that I don't think anyone even know who they are. You know, but they're big in their cities. KID, who's known now as Kyle. At the time, no one knew who Kyle was. He was Kid, KID at the time when we connected. Now he's major. He's doing some major work. I've been trying to do PR for Kyle now for about a year and a half, 2 years now as Kyle. Prior to that, we connected when he was KID, before he signed his deal. Those are the kind of artists I want to work with, because to me, they're the future of music. I don't really want to work with anyone that's out here now. I want to be the up and coming sound. I don't want to be the sound. You know, I want to be the new wave that's taking place, and that's why I like to work with the artists in my circle so neatly affected, because we want to be able to change music the way Drake did. That's the effect we want to have. We want to have our generation know us for our music, not for what was there before us. And if I had to say there's one artist I want to work with who's somewhat semi-popular, it would be Skip Marley, because I feel like Skip is a generational piece. You know, he's from the Marley family, and he's pretty good. His music to me is legendary. He kind of has the same feel and atmosphere of Sherwood. It's kind of like how I describe it, because I like the energy that I get from Sherwood. I think it's the same energy I'll get from Skip if we work together. I did reach out to his management team. We did correspond, and when they started doing PR on this side of the genre, I think that we're gonna definitely connect. Let's say a popular hip hop artist who I might wanna do some work with would be Big Sean, because I had the energy of meeting Big Sean while he was here. At the time, I think he was shooting this video that was shot by Ryan Lightburn. Around the same time when Ryan shot my video, they were in town and they did that. I would like to work with Big Sean. I think Big Sean is a pretty good artist as well. Very talented dude, and his circle is pretty niche as well. And to me, it's all about energy. It's not even about who has the biggest hit or who's making the best songs. It's about energy, because that creates the environment, that creates the music for tomorrow. And I think that's basically how I look at it. Do I have a bucket list? I don't know, man. We all gonna die. I don't know if I got a bucket list. But there are other artists out there that I probably would like to meet. And it's funny, I could just share this while it's actually in my head. I never thought I would have liked Cardi B. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought today I would have liked Cardi B, because I'll say to myself, man, she just trying to be like Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has already taken this crown and ran with it. She already took this and gone. And then Cardi B came out and she did that one song. I was like, all right, that's it for her. She's finished. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to that song and it's all over the place. And then she dropped another song that I can't stop playing. I'm like, what is going on here?
I guess I think because of the whole love and hip hop image that she had,
the era,
I think that everybody felt that, okay, she put this one song on it. She could be a one-hit
wonder
because of the image that she had from love and hip hop. But then she dropped Bodak Yellow.
And then I Like It Like That.
You heard another song come.
You know I like it.
And then you see the consistency.
It's happening, right? It's definitely happening. And I actually like that, because I felt like she was going to be able to produce another good song. And it's because of we have a lot of one-hit wonders in the world. And I like to watch those things, because I go back to that, like the 80s one-hit wonders and the 90s one-hit wonders. It's something I go back on YouTube and watch consistently, because there are songs in there that we have forgotten that we should probably bring back, because they were some of the best energy. That was music. I don't know what the heck this is that we're doing. The vibe is not there. The energy is not there. The feelings are not there. It's very rare when you find 1 and 2 songs that comes out of 10,000 songs. The percentage is very low that has that same energy that we could have had back when we were riding and hear songs like da, 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 I know this much is true. That energy is gone. You don't feel that no more. You don't ride in the song and stop and be like, oh yeah, this is music. You don't get that no more, man. So when you go back and look at it, it's like, how do you get this energy back that the 80s had, or the early 90s, or even some of those Britney Spears songs? They were pretty good in the crap we listen to today. That's the energy we want to have back, and that's why the artists that we work with in our circle, we're trying to bring back that energy of music. It's I wouldn't say a new wave, but it is the wave of music. That's basically it.
Yeah, because I but I actually agree with what you said just now about that energy, because even if you look at the film industry, a movie could, and when I'll go back to when I was younger, movies came out, and when you watch the movies, they gave you a certain feeling.
You had a
feel. It was like a feel good type of a vibe.
The energy you get from
but nowadays
it.
you watch a movie and everything is horror-ish, or dark,
a dark field, and
there's a movie coming out next year. They remade a Disney classic, and I watched the trailer, and I just felt dark. Like it didn't make me feel like I used to watch this when I was growing up.
It changed.
Like, bro, this getting scary.
It's getting scary.
You see what I'm saying? So
and
I think that's one thing that Bruno Mars attempted to do when he did his
music.
Project,
that's true.
Because he brought back that
80s classic feel.
Popping.
Yep.
It was crazy because it had that feel good energy in it.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's definitely
I don't know what sound wave that we're on in this generation. But we clearly missed the mark. We have missed that mark, man. I'm serious. And it's every time I sit back and I think about it, just having secondary thoughts of what music was. And you'll find me listening to songs in my car that is so old. Like this morning I wake up and I just felt like playing the song, "Anyone can break my stride, nobody can hold me down." Oh no, because that song was inspiring. It was inspiring to me, and we don't get that no more. I don't get up and be like, let me play one song that inspires me today. Nothing here inspires me. Nothing I listen to today inspires me, except for a few Drake pieces that came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, but I go back and I look at it today and I'm like, do we still have inspiring music produced today? And I honestly, if I had to answer that, I'll say no.
I'd say the same thing. I feel that this generation of music is very microwavable.
It is popcorn lifestyle.
Yeah, it's like you said, you could put a bag of popcorn in the microwave and you put it on a minute, and in a minute
you have popcorn, man.
The artists, and especially in hip hop, the artists are not taking time to polish the craft. Because I remember, we can go back again. Look at artists like Jay-Z, artists like Big L, artists like Rakim, Eric B. These dudes sat down and they wrote. And if they don't like how it sounds, they tear the page out and they start writing again.
All over again.
These dudes nowadays, they just say, woohoo,
and they repeat.
And they mumble a couple of words, and then they go to the hook. And then they come back, they make some noise, they mumble a couple of words, they go back to the hook. They ain't writing nothing. You cannot convince me that most of these hip-hop artists have a notepad or even
they probably don't.
That they're writing in.
There's no substance.
They just go in the booth, they bust a joint, and whatever comes to their head,
they do it.
They throw it on the record.
And normally they're inspired by the music. They're inspired by whatever the producer produced. So if the track is what's driving the energy, and there's no substance in the verbal, in the words, and the lyrics, you're not gonna have anything to look back at. I can't look back at anything today. Though. I could be saying this incorrectly, but there are things that I look back at now, and I'm like, man, they should have never released that crap. Because it messed up the whole future, you know. And there's a lot of artists out there that today I really hate. You know, they didn't come out and do the Bow Wow feel, and I call it the Bow Wow feel because I recall in the early 2000s when Bow Wow came out, the energy we got from those songs into him growing up. I mean, into him fading out, and it's kind of like, even though he's not iconic now, at that point he was, and that's the energy you want an artist to have. They want to have at least 10 years of good run. So by the time they're finished, they take that money and they invest into something else that actually makes sense. Like, keep them going, because you don't expect to be an Elton John. You know what I mean? Elton John is like 70 plus, and he's been making hits ever since he started doing music. There's no other artist out here doing that. None. I mean, Michael Jackson died, and he took that with him. So what's left? Elton John is still here. Could you be another Elton John is a question. And the other question is there any Bahamian artist that could be like an Elton John? Because we haven't had one yet. Jamaica has Vybz Kartel. You know what I mean? And now they have Alkaline. It's like they polish this dude to take on the trophy. They keep going. We haven't even started yet, bro. Where are we? Why? Why are we still left behind in this race? You know, and this is the question I ask my artists when we sit down, and they look at me like, "Oh, you talk a lot of depression stuff." I'm like, bro, this is depressing. You've been doing music for what, 5 years? Where are you? Why? And I could try the same approach I try with every other artist. Why are you still stuck? It's because of how we brand ourselves. It's because the Bahamas is known for not having a actual business economy when it comes to music and entertainment industry. And even though at point in time there's somewhat a collective of what's happening, it is forming, it is going places, it's taking its time, but it's happening with this generation. How long it's going to take for this generation to make this into actual business to move forward? There's no guarantee old guys like you and I are gonna be around.
Yeah.
By the time, Bahamian artists are getting nominees and VMAs and all that stuff. That's what I want to see. That's where we should all strive to be. But that's what we're doing right now. We're fighting each other. We're doing the crowd bar effect. I want to be in the top.
Yeah.
And everybody's pulling on everybody. And that's kind of like what we're doing. I just kind of hope that we are paying attention to what we're doing, which is what we're not doing. If we try to figure out what we're not doing, then maybe we should see exactly what we should be doing. And then that would actually propel the approach of a successful entertainment industry here.
Yeah. So there's something that we do with all of our guests, and we call it the top 6. And we can get into that right now, actually. And so, if you've been watching the show, you know that in the top 6, I asked my guests to give me a list of their top 6 favorite artists of all times. But
funny.
3 of them have to be Bahamian. So what would be your top 6 list?
I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't even burden no one with that kind of information. It just sounds like a lot. It would sound biased if I call artist names that I work with. So let me just say in the top 6, all the artists I work with, super dope, right? But in comparing to that, to be fair, there are other artists that I do listen to outside of the artists that I do management with and production and PR. Who I sit down and listen to. I love Footy Battle music. I do listen to his projects. I feel like he's one of those artists that deserves to have the crown. I think he's really good. I've watched him perform a lot of times, and the dude energy is just massive. His performance is massive. His lyrics is massive. He is an artist. He is an entertainer. And I would compare him to Sherwood and Cloud and Von Trapp and Chase, because I feel like they have the same energy to propel the industry pretty good. And they're pretty awesome. I listen to Joe Capone from time to time. I feel like he has some good material as well. One of his songs I play consistently. That's his latest song that came out. I can't remember the name for now. I'm thinking about it. It's crazy. I just listened to that yesterday. But I feel like his music is pretty good. And it has a lot of effect, because it actually could change the persona of what's taking place. And other than those guys, another artist I think is pretty good. Bahamian. 3 has to be Bahamian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll say Lex. Reason being is I feel like Lex has the voice. I feel like he could definitely change what's taking place. And I'm just talking about artists outside of the circle of Saginaw Incorporated. Because if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you off the bat who I want to put there. But that wouldn't be fair, because they're part of my niche, and it would be unjust for me to say that. So outside of the persons who I don't work with, most definitely Footy Bethel, Joe Capone. We have discussed a few things. Matter of fact, I've sit down and meetings with all these guys to do some business, but I feel like what they're doing is perfect, and they should just keep that up. I feel like the most they should probably do is pay attention to a more PR, and their stuff would be gold mine. And they're pretty good. And there's another one I actually should have mentioned, but this dude to me was always, we've connected on so many levels. Najee Dunn. I feel like Najee is a great piece of artwork. I feel like he definitely knows what he's doing, and I think Najee is one of those artists that you have to pay attention to as well, because he's definitely making things happen, and he's been doing it for so long. I look at how things are and how he puts it out, and his presentations. I feel like that's good stuff, and that's what we try to do with the team that we work with. And I think I might have overcount my 3 Bahamians. But
so give me 3 from the international market.
3 from the international market. Man, I don't know. I work with a lot of good persons that I think. I love Nicki Minaj music. I feel like it's pretty good. I'll never stop listening to Drake. So off the back, I'm gonna say Drake. I feel like Drake changed music completely. I feel like everyone sounded like Drake after Drake came out, you know, and you can't beat that. I feel like those guys were pretty good. And international market, I'm gonna go back to the early 80s and say Criss Cross. I feel like those guys changed music as well. You know, what JD did with those guys back then was inspiring. So those would be the kind of persons that I will sit down and listen to from time to time, because I look at what was iconic at its time and how it affected a decade into the industry. And those guys changed the industry. Nicki Minaj is still the reigning queen of hip-hop. You can't change that. Drake is still the reigning king of hip-hop. You can't change that. You know? And there are a few persons that might come around, and if you look at it, they're actually under their circles. You know, they're close to these persons. And that's party next door. You know, he has a Drake feel, and that's basically it. And the reason why I'll go with Criss Cross is because, you know, back at their time in the 80s, they changed music, they changed hip-hop, they changed the feel of what we listened to as kids. And we looked up to them coming up. Oh, I want to be like Criss Cross. I'm going to wear my shirt twisted, you know. And those are the guys that I listen to. Even to this day, I'll always go back to what was iconic, because those music will still last until we die. Like, they'll always be there, coming around and going around. And that's just basically how I look at it. So those are my top 6.
All right. So what can we look forward to from Sergeant I? Because I know you got some big projects in the works.
Yeah, a lot of projects, man.
What can we look forward to coming out of the Sergeant I camp?
Man, I don't want to spoil nobody's food, but most definitely, Trap's project is definitely on the works. Days before Trap season, it's been premiered. It's supposed to be premiered from last month. We're aiming for July 10th. I shouldn't be dropping no dates. Rex, get it right. You know, but yeah, we trying to make sure that happens. Paula McKeever's video is premiering in a few days, also in July 10th. That should be a pretty good song. It should be pretty good. I hope y'all listen. I'll look out for it. Shout out to all the entire team that definitely put the work in. Sherwood Raman group, the guys in the US, can't remember their name. My apologies. But they definitely put in some work on that. Ali Cody's song, y'all know, is not playing Father's Day. So that's doing some pretty good stuff. And then we have Maney's project coming out in August. We're dropping that for the first time. We could actually premiere a project for Maney. We got 12 songs on there, and that's coming out in a bit. And then we have the Yanni Rhythm, Tropic Vibes, which is me and Rex with the team from Stethoscope, Consequence Music, Conscious Music, Magic Davila, Tough Gang Music. We all teamed up, and we produced something amazing for the summer, and that's gonna be out as well. And we are about, if I'm correct, about 12 artists on that as well, on that one rhythm. So those are the projects I'm looking forward to for the summer. And Yanni's album, now Rex and I are producing with along with Consequence Music. That's gonna be pretty good. And some massive PR work with Starface. I want y'all to remember this name, Starface. She's about to do some crazy numbers here. Trust me on that. Her song is doing pretty good. Go out and check it. Wind Up and Focus, produced by Consequence Music. They do some pretty good work as well, and we do some massive PR. She's actually on the rhythm as well. So Sergeant I, Davila, we're definitely putting in some crazy work. You know, since the last time we did a few stuff, and we're shooting a video for Lance in a few days because he's flying back in town. That should be epic. So y'all probably watch on the feeds. You know, we post stuff online or whatever. We do have a lot of traffic that watches the pages, but it's normally from the outside. But Lance is coming back in town. We're shooting this video for the rhythm, so we're gonna have a lot of Jamaican artists flying in town just to be a part of this. And we're gonna be shooting the videos here because we wanted, we want people to realize that, hey, locals produced this. There wasn't no Jamaican producer. It was produced here. These videos are gonna get shot here. That's the idea of it. We want to bring that traffic this way. So it's kind of like a cross reference of how we're doing music today. We want we want to be known and heard for what we're doing creatively. It's not a who do it first thing. It's we a part of the rat race at this point. And even though we don't want to be in the same box, but at sometimes you have to step into the box and step out. You know, it's kind of like a cross the bridge concept. So that's kind of like some of the stuff we have in the works. You look out to, they're on the radio. Phoenix Songs, I Don't Care, that's on the radio as well. Her video is also dropping pretty soon. That should be out, I think, the end of June. That song is doing pretty good on all the radio networks. I've been hearing it every day. They're playing that. So that's a good thing. But I think that's basically it. And G, the Producer's project, is now online for sale. Desire is out there, free download. The video drops as well end of month. And I think that song is going to change a lot of people's concept of music in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I think we've been doing that with the quality of our work, and I think that's a good thing. And there's some things I can't take credit for that's happening through Session Live, but I wouldn't take credit for it. I just kind of let it happen, and then people will see what's taking place. But this is a long ass show.
Yeah, we about to get up and out of here. But first, man, I brought for you one of Mac Joe's Cookie Treats and Sweets world famous Oreo rolls. And I tell everybody that picks one of those up, you got to be careful that you don't bite your finger off, because it's just that good. So make sure you check out Mac Joe's Cookie Treats and Sweets. They got the Facebook page, Mac Joe's Cookie Treats and Sweets, or you can hit them up at 466-3176 and put in your orders for the most delicious decorated specialty cookies and cinnamon rolls in the Bahamas. So you're about to get up out of here. You've been watching Live and Direct, where we bring to you the who's who in art, culture, music, and entertainment. And if you're somebody that's anybody, you can be hitting that share right there. But hey, you about to get up out of here.
Please.